I love creativity. It's a daily gift from the universe. Sure, we're not always going to get along. It wants something, I want something. We walk away from each other, but we've got to have communication, you and your inner soul, in order to bring forward the art that everybody is expecting you to have. Doesn't matter what business you do. Being creative is a part of all walks of life. Unplugged, because we will always say yes to creativity. Totally Uncut, because we all make mistakes. So turn it into a tool. This is Arroe Unplugged. I'm just sitting here looking out the studio window. The sun is rising. I love looking at the rays of light as it moves through the trees, the pines. Oh my God, the oak. Look at the long, tall grass. Even though fall is getting closer and closer, you can still see the remnants of what the summer brought to us. And it's like a gigantic harvest out there. And it says, come on, change is on the way. Bring it all in. In fact, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you how my body is starting to embrace that fall is on the way. I've been waking up 1 hour earlier than what I was, let's say, 2-3 weeks ago. And so this morning I'm going, why is this happening? And then I realized we're going to be changing the clocks in the weeks ahead. Fall back. We're going to lose an hour of sleep. Therefore, why not prepare for it now? Hey, it's Arroe. This is The Daily Mess, a chronological walk through an everyday world. I am a daily writer. I take little stuff like this and I turn it into a big something, a big to-do. And my father used to get so angry with me. He says, stop it. Stop it. You're making huge things out of itty-bitty mustard seeds. But that's who I am, Dad. Stop it. And I continued on. I didn't listen to my dad. This is The Daily Mess. I wrote last evening about the importance of studying history. It's not a physical act of living in the past, but rather the activation of understanding our present place. I mean, all things fall into place, right? Knowing the root to the source can heal the divided vines. Sadly, though, because the past can so easily be rewritten to better accept, the process of teaching can injure the storyteller's attempt. I watched a docuseries last night about national leaders. The majority of the information, really seriously, between the two of us, was material that I had never heard of before. And I love history, but I had never heard of what they were saying in this docuseries. They used a lot of animation to help tell the processes that came into being. I finally had to turn this stuff off. And the reason why is because I couldn't tell the difference between propaganda and reality, because it is so easy to go back and rewrite history. Oh, I took notes. Oh, yes, I did. And I'm going to use those notes of those personal studies to do my own research. You got to know one thing about these documentaries that are on Netflix and Hulu and Amazon and stuff like that. A documentary doesn't declare truth. Somewhere there's got to be tiny letters that say this is based on a true story. Man, I love me some documentaries, but when I don't believe in it anymore, I have to have the strength to pull away. How do you react to something like that? There's so much information moving around us at all times. Each little news network has their own little way of sharing the news. And remember, a lot of news these days is based on opinion and not fact. How do you react to something like that? Because once you pick up on somebody's opinion, just like the telephone game, you're going to pass it on to somebody else. And they're going to pass it on and pass it on and pass it on. You know, I think there should be like a 2 or 3 hour window in every workday world that should be go learn about today. Go figure out what this person is saying about this news story versus what this person is saying and come up with your own determination. But be a broadcaster and find truth and fact and not opinion. I loved it the other day. I was listening to some talk radio and they were talking about what is going on with what is happening in the political world around the world. In the way that all of these news sources, they go, wait, this is going on in this country? Okay, who can we bring in here? We got to have 4 guests on our show, and they cannot agree with each other. There's a thing that we do in radio, and I learned this when I was doing morning show radio. You have to have a dick, a dork, and a deer. And that is the process of a lot of these news programs that are just flooding our digital space. And so you've got to have the dick, the dork, and the deer. Somebody, you say, oh my God, I feel for what this person has gone through. It must be true. And then you got the dick that's over there saying, well, this is the way it is. And, and you're going, oh my God, I like this person. They've got the courage and the confidence to just be a dick. I wrote last evening about the importance of studying history. It's not a physical act of living in the past, but rather the activation of understanding our present. How did we get here? I need facts. I don't need opinion. I'm Arroe, and that's the Daily Mess.